Triple E EDC back again with another knife video. This is the Benchmade Contego. This is the Knifeworks exclusive version. So the big difference between the Knifeworks exclusive version and the regular version, first of all, is the black and blue G10 here and the M390 blade. And we'll get into some of the specifics in a couple of minutes, but let's start out with some of the size comparisons. So this is a large knife, and just before we get sort of into anything else, I do want to address, this is sort of the big brother to one of Benchmade's seminal knives, the Benchmade 940. And so you can see it really is a big brother. I mean, it's much larger than the 940. And so you can see it's much larger in the blade, much larger in the body, but it's not all the same either. So you can see the big difference here. And I'm going to bring out one more knife that's also sort of in the family here. These are all Osborne designs. And this is the Benchmade Anthem. So again, big difference is the sort of the scallop design where your hand goes. The curvature of the back is similar. The curvature of the spine here is similar on all three knives. But again, where your fingers go is different. So you'll have the smallest guard here on the 940, a little bit larger of a guard here on the Benchmade Anthem, and then a much larger guard here on the Benchmade Contego. And so you have this this space also between where your fingers end and the beginning of the knife there. So it gets progressively larger as you go from the 940 to the Anthem to the to the Benchmade Contego. I will also mention there's another Osborne design that sort of fits in here as well. I don't have one, so you can't see it here, but that is the Benchmade Rift. Now, I will mention the reason I'm doing the Benchmade Contego tonight as a review is because this knife is on sale, on a really good sale right now. This is $140 right now on Knifeworks as the Knifeworks exclusive, and the Benchmade Contego M4 version, the normal version with the black blade, is being discontinued by Benchmade and is currently on sale at Smoky Mountain Knifeworks for about $142. So that's an incredible deal. These the normal price on the Benchmade Contego, the M4 version, I think was about $204 or $205, and the normal price on the Knifeworks one was about $199 or something like that. So incredible deal. The Contego on the Knifeworks version was lowered to $140 about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and they do still have them. I don't know why they're not selling. They should be selling out, but guys, that's an excellent deal. Now, the M4 version, Blade HQ ran it at about $150, and it's sold out. The M4 black blade version sold out at Blade HQ. It might have been $145, $150, somewhere around there. Smoky Mountain Knifeworks has it for $142. I imagine it'll sell out pretty quickly, so if you plan on getting one, stop the video, go get one, come back, and hear about why you just made a good purchase. So let's go ahead and finish the size comparisons here. Again, that's the Benchmade Anthem and the Benchmade 940. You've got the Ontario Rat 1. And let's do another big knife, the Cold Steel AD-20. So you can see it's much larger than the Rat 1 and a little bit shorter in the height department than the AD-20, but also a little bit longer of a blade, as you can see here, and the handles are approximately similarly sized. A couple more size comparisons, because you guys know I like to do a lot of size comparisons. I think it's helpful for people to see all the different knives. Some people own different knives. That's the Paramilitary 2 and Para 3 from Spyderco. And so you can see, again, much bigger knife than either one of these. And here's some other Benchmades to mix in here. The Benchmade Griptilian, the Benchmade Bugout, and the Benchmade Super Freak. Now, one thing to mention real quick is the Benchmade Bugout. I'm sorry, this is the grip. The Benchmade Griptilian The sheep's foot version in DLC with an S30V blade and a tan handle is currently on sale for about, I think, $85 at Smoky Mountain Knifeworks, which is an excellent deal. It's normally about $115, and just that version is being discontinued. I don't think the S30V ones are being discontinued, just that one version of S30V, but that's an incredible deal for a Griptilian. So if you plan on getting a Griptilian, that's a deal you should hop on as well. This is the Spyderco Shaman, and this is probably the most comparable knife in Spyderco's lineup. I know you have the Native Chief as well, but honestly, the Native Chief doesn't look like it's as tough of a blade. I've never held one, to be honest, but just the looks of it doesn't look like as tough of a blade. This is a hard use knife. This is a hard use knife, so just something to keep in mind. And then just one more size comparison, because there are going to be people who own the Microtech Socom Elite who probably will also be the same type of people who will want to own the Benchmade Contego. Give you a little size comparison there. See if you like one, you should like the other. All right, let's go ahead and talk about what's good and what's bad about this knife. So first of all, as I mentioned, the normal version is an M4. It comes in two different styles of blades. There's I think it's a Cerakote on both of them. One is the black blade, although the black might be a DLC. I think it is a Cerakote though, unlike this, which is an M4 DLC. Obviously check the website to make sure. So the M4 blade on the normal one, like I said, is black, or it comes also in gray. Both versions come with a black handle. And then there is the Knifeworks Exclusive version, both of which are on sale for $140. Again, the gray version of the M4 is not on sale. It's just the black version on Smoky Mountain Knifeworks. But on Knifeworks.com, the Knifeworks Exclusive, both the gray and black G10 and the blue and black G10 are on sale for $140, which are excellent deals. So normally, as where I'd have to say the price is just, and this is worth it at $200, but normally where I'd say it's just worth it and not necessarily a great deal. Now that it's $140, it's an excellent deal. And so the best thing I can say about this knife is that it is just one of the best values out there right now. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, what else is good about the knife? So the one thing I like about this is the pattern on the G10 here, the cutout with the black and the blue. I didn't necessarily love the 940, the Knifeworks Exclusive 940 when it came out with the black and blue, but this one I really do like. It's a layered G10. What they do is they layer it and then they cut away some of the layers, revealing some of this blue here. And, you know, they come in different shades. Some of them actually have like a blue on top and then the black cutouts. And they used to allow you to sort of choose which style you got if you put in the notes on knifeworks.com. You can give it a try. I don't know if they'll still do that, but it's something to keep in mind as well. If you look at Love Them Knives channel, I believe he has a blue one, so you can go back and look at his video on the Knifeworks Exclusive Contego and see what the opposite effect of the G10 would be on this one, where it's blue with black cutouts. All right, M390 is an excellent steel. And the satin finish, the satin on this is excellent. I love the satin finish on this. As to whether you should go with the M390 or the M4, I will say that both steels are excellent. In most circumstances, you can't go wrong with either. M4, as you know, or as you may know, it can be corroded fairly easily. So if you live in a very wet environment, I happen to live in Houston, Texas, which is extremely humid. If you live in Florida, if you live in New Orleans, the swamps or whatever, you're gonna have to just keep in mind that the humidity will wreak havoc on M4. That being said, my personal preference, I love M4. I actually like M4 better than M390. That might not be a popular opinion, but I really like the tool steels and how they hold an edge. I really enjoy the Maximate on this Para 3 for that reason, and some of my other M4 knives as well, like my Super Freak. So again, I really enjoy that M4. But just keep in mind, and it will hold an edge longer than M390, but M390 is a good balance of being stainless, holding an edge, and being tough. So if you're looking for that best EDC style blade, then it's probably M390. If you're looking for something that'll just, you know, be great outdoors, the M390 might be a little bit better, unless you're just going to be doing a whole bunch of heavy chopping all the time. Although if you're really doing that much of heavy chopping, as tough as this is, get a fixed blade, guys. Folders aren't meant for that. So, as far as other things that I like about this, the deep carry clip on this is excellent. It really makes this carry very well. This carries extraordinarily well in the pocket for being such a large knife. So I'm very happy about that. I love the fact that this has the satin deep carry clip. The black deep carry clips on Benchmade's are, I don't know if they're painted. Well, some of them are painted. Some of them are Parkerized. The Parkerized ones are great. They don't really give me many problems. But the painted ones, they just chip off. They look terrible. Most of them really should be stripped or just, you know, put on one of these satin ones anyway. So I do enjoy the pocket clip here. The axis lock on this is excellent. And the blade is heavy enough that you can get a good gravity flick if you want to, you know, gravity flick it out. The edge on this is, you know, fairly thin for what it is, but keep in mind you're looking at, you know, fairly thick blade stock. You know, I guess it's around the size of what a PM2 is, maybe a little bit thicker, but much thicker, obviously, than the Bugout. And I believe it's thicker than the, yeah, it's thicker than the Super Freak. So, sorry about that. Just something to keep in mind. It is a fairly thick stock. It doesn't come down to the finest edge ever, but it does hold a pretty good edge for being such a hard use, good knife. So what is bad about this knife? So one of the things just to be aware of, I don't know if it's bad, and I've heard that the M4 versions have more aggressive, even more aggressive jimping, but even this version has extremely aggressive jimping. You can probably see it raising above the G10 there, and there's just jimping everywhere on this. Jimping, 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 jimping. So there's just a lot of jimping all over this knife, and you feel it, you really do. But I don't find it as a problem even without gloves, but this is an excellent glove knife. So if you wear gloves, this is an excellent knife for that. It's never going to go anywhere, just completely locked in, but also locked in when you're not wearing gloves. I tend to have, you know, I lifted weights a lot when I was younger, still do a little bit, but, you know, because of that, I have calluses on my hands, so it doesn't really bother me much, but, you know, it might bother, you know, someone who, I guess, has hands that haven't been through quite as much. So, again, just something to keep in mind. The size on this is good, but it is very, very large. So sometimes if you're EDCing it, you know, you might choose just a smaller option from time to time. Even the Shaman can be that smaller option. So again, just another thing to keep in mind. I don't mind it. I don't really see it as a drawback, but it might be a drawback for some people. So it's something to be aware of. One other thing is the ergonomics on this are good, but not great. The ergonomics on the Anthem and the 940 are much better. These just, when you put your hand on these, you really feel like you're comfortable and you're locked in, despite the fact that the handles are so thin, right? However, here with the Contego, I just don't like the fact that it sort of forces my two fingers into this well. I think the back two fingers are fine here. It really doesn't bother me on the back two fingers. But on these two fingers, sometimes it feels like they're pinched together because of the way this well is shaped. And they also feel like I would like to be a little bit closer to the knife, sort of up here. But it forces me sort of back down here a little bit. And so that, you know, that is what it is. But the plus side of that is it forces my thumb here on all that jimping, which is great. If you want to move up, it does have this, you know, here. This is not a choil. Do not attempt to use this if you don't know what you're doing. But you can bear down a little bit and use this sort of as a choil, as long as you're putting the pressure this way on it. Just be very careful when you do, because your finger is exposed to the blade. It's not really a choil. but I've found that, you know, it can be useful when I do it. So I think that's pretty much it on the good and the bad of this. There is enough good here that I really highly recommend it. And this is one of my favorite knives, actually, that I have. I don't think I'll be getting rid of it anytime soon, unless I accidentally get rid of it by losing it or something. But, you know, this is a good one. And, you know, if you haven't already, if you didn't stop and go out and get one, don't wait. Stop, go out and get one, because these are not going to be around forever. When the Knifeworks ones sell out, they probably will not reorder, just because they took so long to sell the first time. They had to drop the price. And the other ones, the black blade ones, I think are being discontinued. So the only ones available in the future are going to be the gray blade ones. It has sort of a Cerakote like the bailout, like this, on the M4 with a black G10 handle. It looks good, but honestly, I like the fully blacked out, murdered out, you know, whatever you want to call it, tactical version look better if you're going to go M4. So that's just me. That's just my opinion. Again, thanks for watching. Go ahead and like the video, comment, leave a comment. Let me know what you think if you have a Contego, if you enjoy it. You know, until next time, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Look forward to seeing y'all. Take care. Bye.